Hello everyone and welcome back to Edureka's YouTube channel. This is the part 2 of our web development tutorial series, and in the previous video, we have covered the basics of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. We have also built a simple form using these technologies, and now in this next part, we are going to take things to the next level by creating an exciting project. That will be a fully functional food ordering website. We will be combining everything that we have learned so far with new concepts to make this project. So before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on latest tech content from Edureka. Also remember to check out Edureka website for our training and certification courses. The link is in the description box below. So now let's get started with the development of our website. So our first step is to open a folder into our Visual Studio Code. Here I have opened my first project folder in my Visual Studio Code, and the next thing I have done is I have added all the images that I'm going to need to create this project. So I've added all these images into this file. So now after adding all the images into the file, the next step is to create the index.html where we are going to write the HTML code. So here I have created the index.html. So here is my index.html. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to create my style sheet. So this is my CSS file, and inside index.html we'll start our coding. So here I have added the head section. So inside the head section, the first thing I've added is the title tag. This is the title that we have given to our website. Okay. The next thing that I've added is the links. So these are the links that will help us to, custom the fonts or choose the icons or, apply the animations and transition in our web page. So let's go through the links. So the first link is from Google itself. It is used to custom the fonts. Again, the second link is from Google itself. It is used to give material icons. Like whenever I want to add any kind of icon in my web page, I'm going to fetch that icon from materials icon. So the third link is also for customizing the fonts, as it says awesome fonts. So this will also help us to customize the fonts. Now the third link and the fourth link, these are basically the JavaScript libraries, and they will help us to provide the animation and transitions to our web page. The elements that we are going to create will add some animations and transitions from JavaScript library. And the last link is our custom style sheet. So that's it for the head section. These are the things that I have added in my head section. So after the head section, we will create our body section. Inside the body section, the first thing that we are going to develop is navigation bar, because that will be the header of our web page. So for developing our navigation bar, I have opened a nav tag here. I have given the ID. After that, we'll add the logo, and this is my logo. So basically, I have given the reference from here, from these images. So this is my logo, and the alt attribute that we are going to provide is the website name. Right. After that, in navigation bar, we are going to add some elements. For that, we have to open a unordered list tag. So inside the unordered list, we have created one division for the home section, and then we have added this span tag. So this span tag will basically fetch the icon that we have written here from the materials icon. So I'll just do it as home. Now the list icon will be home. As we know there is list and then they come the list item, because we have already covered these all things in our first part of the video. So here I have given the index.html reference, because whenever the user will click on home, they will be redirected to the index.html page only. So that is where we are going to create the navigation bar and everything. So they'll be staying on that page only where they are clicking. So the first element on the navigation bar will be home. Like that only, we'll create the about us section. So whenever I'll be creating the about us section, I'll just add here the link. Till then I've added hashtag. Again, after about us section, we are going to create the meal section. Whenever I'll be creating the meal section, I'll be adding the page here. Again, we are using the span tag here. Similarly, we'll be doing it for reserved table, and then again for contact us, and then again for the cart value. So like this, we have added these many elements in our unordered list. So after this, we'll be closing our unordered list, and then we'll be opening one more div tag, and I have provided some inline styling here. So this div tag will be basically for the login button. I also want one login button on my navigation bar right here. So for that also, I have created one span and I'll be adding the login page once we'll be creating the login page. So after this, now the navigation bar development is completed. So till here, we have completed the navigation bar development. So you can just pause and go through the code, and if there is any doubt, you can comment that in comment section. So after that, I have added one JavaScript function. So the function that I want to add in my web page is whenever user scrolls the home section, there should be a transition in the navigation bar. So for that, I have created one function here. So this basically says that scroll function will be added to the navigation bar when the user scrolls the screen more than 50 pixels. Then it will be added, and if the scrolling is less than 50 pixels, it will be removed. Otherwise, it will be added to the nav bar. So this is what it says. We have to add the scroll function to our navigation bar, and these are the conditions that we have kept here. So that's it for the navigation bar. Now we'll move to CSS and we'll style our navigation bar. So here is the styling of the navigation bar. So first of all, I would like to add one point. Like we all know about the styling features now. We are familiar with the basic styling feature, what is box model and display and alignment, background colors and colors. So now apart from this styling techniques, you can also learn some more styling techniques by experimenting with styling techniques. Just Google the styling techniques you want to add to your web page and just learn how to apply them. So again, for our navigation bar, I'll show that from here our navigation bar styling starts. So as always, we have added display as flex, the alignment of the items in the center. We have added the background color and padding. The position we made sticky. We have added the z-index 1000 and the transition of the background. This basically will smoothen all the changes whenever the user is scrolling the navigation bar. So after that, we have added the styling. When the user will scroll the navigation bar, what are the changes that it is gonna make? So it will change the background, it will change the color of the content, the padding and the box shadow. So here are some reasons. Here I have explained why these styling techniques has been applied. So now we will design the material icons that we have added, and the color for those icons will be black and the transition will be 0.3s. So now togetherly we will style the navigation bar when it is scrolled and the material icons. So the color of both will be white. So now comes the logo image styling. The height we have given here as 50 px, and you can adjust this styling as per your necessity. Then comes the unordered list of the navigation bar. Again, the display is flex, list styling is none, padding and margin is 0, and the margin left is 0 just to align the list to the left direction. Then individually we are styling the navigation bar items. Here the display is flex, the item alignment is in center and the margin right is 20 px. Again, we have applied this styling because we have provided the anchor tag to item of the navigation bar. So here text decoration is none because we want to remove the underline from the hyperlink. And then the color is black, we have padding 10 and the transition as it is to smoothen the transition process. Then again we are applying the hover effect to the navigation items. So whenever we provide hover effect to the navigation items, there are two basic techniques that we apply, which is color and the background color. Here we have also applied the box radius. Now after the user scrolls the navigation bar, what will be the item and the anchor tag styling? We will just change the color, right? And then again we have provided the hover effect. After the scrolling, again we have provided color and the background color. After that we have styled the navigation bar and unordered list. We have given the margin as auto. Then we have provided the transition to the items, and then comes the login section. So in login section we have provided the display as flex and the alignment as center and the margin as auto. Then we will be providing anchor tag to our login button. So for that reason we have provided the text decoration none, color white, padding text and transition 0.3s. So this is the styling when we'll be hovering on the login button. So the color will be yellow, the background color will be yellow and the box radius will be 25 px. And these are some additional stylings that we have provided just to make the item shift to a left side. So now we'll just save this CSS code. We'll just save the HTML code and we'll run our document. So here is the navigation bar. We have created this navigation bar. We have this logo here. We have home section, about section, mail, reserve table, contact us, cart and the login button. So this is so far what we have created. This is the navigation bar. Now after creating the navigation bar, we'll be moving on to creation of our home page. So right here we have created our home page. So for the creation of our home page, first we'll start with the section tag. So we have given the class name as hero. We have already covered why do we need to give class name, ID name and what is inline styling and everything. So we have given here inline styling to the section. Now after this we are going to open one dev class and we'll be naming it as hero content. So inside this dev class we are going to provide one heading in italic using a break tag which will be food zone. After this we'll be opening one more div section with inline styling, and inside that div section we are going to write one paragraph. This paragraph says welcome to Street Food Spencer with a break tag and best offer limited time only. So now after this we are going to close this div section, and outside this div section we are going to provide one heading which says free delivery and number. So now comes the important part. So we are going to create one form for the search bar. So we are basically going to create one drop down for the locations, right? So to create our drop down, first we'll open one form tag, then we'll provide one div class. We'll be naming it as location drop down, and then we want user to select any kind of location. So we'll be opening the select tag and we'll just provide the name as location. So inside that select tag we are going to follow this syntax. We'll just provide the options with the value and the name of the location, and we'll be closing that option tag here. So this is the syntax. After providing how much ever locations you want, you can just close the select tag. That's it. Then we'll be closing our div tag. The drop down has been created here. So after creating one drop down, I have added one image. We'll be seeing what is that image. So to add that image, first of all I have provided the inline styling to it, and then I have added the source of the image along with the alt attribute of that image. After providing that image, what we are going to do, we are going to design one search bar. So for that search bar, we are going to open one div class. We'll just name it as search input, and then we are already familiar with this input type and placeholder, everything, as we created a form in our last video. Then we'll be creating one button, and then we'll be adding one material icon. So I want this material icon to be fetched from this link. So I've added this reference link and the material icons. So then button tag and the search input tag will be closed. And here we'll be closing our form tag. So this is the creation of form, right? So I guess you understood this much. And after creating that form, I want some items in the left side of my home page. So for that, I have created one division class. I have named it as item container. So after that also we have opened one more div class naming item content. So I have created 3 item content because I have added 3 different kind of images, 3 different kinds of items on my home page. So for that, first thing we are going to do is we are going to provide the image with the alt attribute. You can write anything if you want to write inside the alt attribute, and one paragraph. And then we'll be closing our div section. What we'll do, we'll just copy this code and we'll paste it how much ever time we want. So here I have just changed the image and the paragraph tag. And again, I have done the same thing. So we have added the home page, we have added the items, we have added the navigation bar, and we have added the form till now. So now after this, what we are going to do, we are going to create some div classes to style it further. Like we'll understand it when I'll style them into CSS. So for that, we are going to open div section and div section. So we'll be styling these in the CSS. That's why we have just given them a class. And after this we are going to add one image. So with the alt attribute we are going to add this image. So after that we are going to close the home section. That's it. And now let us move on to CSS for the styling of the home. Now from here the styling of the home section starts. First we have targeted the hero section and we have given the height, display and position. After that, we are targeting the heading 1 of the hero section and we have given the margin and the font size. After that, we are targeting the paragraph of the home section and we have given the font size and the margin. Then comes the search bar, again the margin, display and the margin left. After that, we have created the form, so we are targeting search form, and in this we have justified the content and display is flex and the margin has 30px top. After this, we have designed the location drop down. In that, we have kept the display as flex, the alignment of the items as center and the margin right is 0. So then we have styled the location drop down select. So you can see we have provided the padding, font size, border radius, outline width and height. Again, after that comes the search input. Again, the same styling we have provided. Display will always be flex. Alignment of the items will maximum time it will be center. Border radius we have given. Overflow is hidden. And box shadow we have provided with the color. After that comes the search input. Input the input inside the search bar. So the padding will be 3px, font size will be 14px, border will be none, border radius also no, and the outline will be none, and we have provided the width and the height so that it is smaller than the drop down. Then comes the button of the search bar. So the padding we have provided as 5px, we have given the background color, we have given the color, we have given the border, and cursor we have made as pointer, and the font size, the heading and the border radius. After that comes the background color, which is maroon. This is the button hover color. You just keep that in mind. The button hover color is maroon. After comes the main content. So inside the main content, the display will be flex, justify content will be space around, and margin will be px and 0. That we have styled the food items. The text alignment is center and the max width is 300px. Then we have styled the food items images and then the heading of the food items, and then comes the paragraph of the food items, and then comes the hero background color. So I told you we'll be styling this section in the CSS. This is the section that we are styling in CSS currently. So we have provided background color, width, height, z-index and position. Again, the plate shadow we have done. So we'll be providing position, width, margin, margin bottom, heading, border radius, background color and the box color. Again comes the background color. So we'll be providing position, width, height, opacity and margin bottom. Then comes the background. So we have provided width, height, display, alignment of items and justify content. So now comes the content inside the home page. So these are the things that we have provided. Justify content will be space between, and padding, width, z-index, position is absolute. And after that comes the heading 1 of the content. So these are the techniques that we have given in the heading 1. Then comes the paragraph, and then comes the line of the content, then item container and the item content. So we have created an item container. So this is the item container. And then we created 3 item contents. So these are the styling that we are going to give to the 3 item content. Then the content image, height and width has been fixed. Then the paragraph of the image. And then we have added the keyframes for scrolling animations. So we'll just save this file and we are going to run it. So we have saved this file and this look at the output. So this is so far what we have created. We have created the navigation bar and now you can see the scrolling effect, right? So I'm scrolling my home page and my navigation bar is changing. So this is the paragraph that we have provided. Here we have added break tag. So it is getting into the next line. So this is the image that we have provided and we have provided the inline styling to it. And here is the drop down which we have provided. So these are the places that we added and we have done the inline styling for this. So far we have created our home page. So next we'll create the other section of our home page. So now let's move on to the other section. Before moving on to the next section, what we have done, we have just added some animation using JavaScript. So we have added some animation from the GSAP animations to our elements. So the first animation that we have added is to the hero section, the opacity is 0. It's just like CSS, but it is kind of animation. The items will move and we'll be providing them the time frame in which the animation has to start and end. We'll look at the output after this, so you'll understand it correctly. So we have provided these features to the hero sections, and then after that we are going to trigger the scroll function from GSAP. So this is basically the additional plugin that is used to trigger the scroll function. So on the food items we have provided, so these are basic styling techniques that we have provided. So here toggle action, play none, none, none. It means that the animation will only play once when the user is first time visiting the page. After that it won't play. After that, if you will, you'll go forward, you'll go backward, that won't play. So after that we have applied this GSAP animations on the content items too. So now again we have applied this scrolling feature on the content item. Again we have added the toggle action and everything. So now let us see what is the output of adding the animations. So we'll just save this file and then we are just going to look at the output. So here you can see, so as I clicked on the home page, I saw the animation. Wait, I'll just show you again. And just look closely what are the animations that we have added. So here you can see the moving items, they are coming one by one, and these are the animations that we have added. So now that I told you that the thing that we wrote, play none, none, none. So now you can see I'm going forward and backward. The items are not moving. But if I'll port this again, then I can see that animation will play only once. So now you can see the animation has played. So that's it. We have added this to our home page. Now finally we'll move on to the next section. So after that we have created the service section. So again for the service section we'll open one section and we'll give it the ID name as service container. Then we'll add one heading of our services. I'm going to give 3 services box here. So I'll just give ID as services. I'll just give 3 of the boxes as same class. So the styling will be easy. So inside this class, I have provided the image, heading and the paragraph. Same we have done for the 3 boxes. We have basically copied this code and pasted for the 3 times. We have just changed the images and the paragraphs for it. So this is how we have created the our services section. So after creating our services section, I have created one more section that says top restaurants around you. So for this, I have again opened one section. I have named it as reviews and then top restaurants around you. So inside this, I have created one container. So inside that container, I have added 6 reviews. So the review 1 will be division class, the name of the restaurant and the image of the restaurant and the paragraph that we have provided to the restaurant. So this is the first restaurant that we are going to show, and then the second restaurant as it is. All you need to change is the name of the restaurant, the image and the paragraph for the restaurant. Same it goes as it is for the review 3, review 4, review 5 and review 6. That's it. After this, our review section gets closed. So this is our services section. You can just pause and go through the whole code. So this is the paragraph. All we have done is we have provided images, headings and paragraphs. So if any doubt, you can just comment down the doubts in the comment section below. And again for this section, we have just opened the div class and we have provided class, images and paragraph. That's it. So we'll just quickly style this section. So from here, the styling of our service section will get started. So inside the service container, first thing we have added is padding, background color and the text alignment. After that comes the services. For that we have added display as flex. We have justified the content as the space around. So there will be space outside the boxes. Then the flex wrap is wrap. This allows you for the responsiveness. After that the max width is 1200 pixel. After that we have provided styling to the services. In this we have given display as flex, justify content, flex wrap, maximum width and the margin. After that comes the box section. In the box we have provided the background color, the border radius, box shadow, margin, padding, transition transformation, and width and the max width and the max height. So that's it for the box section. And then comes the box image. So for the box image, the maximum width we have kept is 80%. So it helps in the responsiveness, right? So after that, we have kept height as 120 pixel and border radius as 10 pixel. So after that comes the hovering effect on the boxes. So transformation is -5px. That will slightly lift the box, and the box shadow is provided here with the box shadow color. So after that, we have styled the heading. So it is font size of 2 em. Then we have provided this color. So after that, we have one secondary heading. So the heading is of 1.5 em and the color is this. After that comes the paragraph inside the boxes. So paragraph inside the boxes has font size, color, line height and the margin. After that, we have provided some responsive style. So that means if the screen size is smaller than 768 pixel, this will work properly. Then the width will be adjusted to this, and if the screen size is lesser or equal to 180 pixel, then the box width will be adjusted to 100%. So this basically is the responsive design style. So now what we'll do is we'll create one more section of meals and then we'll look at the output. The next section that we are going to create is a scrolling section. Like what's in your mind. I have named that section as what's on your mind. So in this section, we are just going to add some food images and we'll add one scrolling feature into it. So I have opened one div tag here. I have named as scroll container. After this, I have opened one div class, naming it as a food items. And inside that food item, we have to just add the images and the alt attribute to that image. So what we have done here is we have added one image and we have added the alt attribute to that image. Along with that, we have also added the class of that image. So we have added the class of that image because we want to style every image which will be in this section togetherly. So again, it is very basic thing. So we have just copied this div section and we have pasted it again for North Indian, for South Indian, for pizza, for burgers, for cakes and rolls, and then sushi, and then lastly for tacos. So what we have done here is the code is same for every section. You are just going to change the image, the paragraph and the alt attribute. That's it. Rest you have to copy paste this section and then you just have to change the image and the paragraph and the alt attribute. That's it. This section has been created. Now just quickly look at the styling of this section. So first we'll target the scroll container, and in that we have given the display as flex, overflow X as auto, scroll behavior as smooth. Then padding, we have provided 20px and no wrap, and we have given the gaps between the item and the padding bottom we have provided. After that, the food items that we have included in them. So we have given the display inline block. So you can see here is a class name food items. That's what we are targeting. So we can see every item has a same class because we have copy pasted all this code. So now we are targeting all this class. So the food items, this styling will be applied to every image and every food item. So display will be inline block, minimum width will be 200 pixel, maximum width we have given 150 pixel, text alignment is center, we have given the background color, padding, border radius, box shadow and transition transform. So now we can see here that we have given the same class to every image, that is image placeholder. So now we are going to style this image placeholder here, and we have provided these styling techniques: width, height, background color, margin, border radius, overflow. This basically ensures that the image does not overflow the circle. So the display will be flex, justify content as center, and alignment of the items will be center. So now let's come to the image that we are going to provide in the placeholder. The width will keep as 100%, height will keep as 100%, object fit will cover. So you can see here that will ensure that image covers the entire area while maintaining the aspect ratio. So it won't be leaving any border around the boxes, like the image will fully fit in the box, and the border radius will be 50%. That ensures the circular shape. Now we have given the hover effect to those items. The hover effect here is translate. So it will slightly rise up the boxes. Now we have provided the box shadow. Then the scrolling button we have designed. So the text alignment here will be center, the margin will be top, and the buttons inside the scrolling button. So we have given the background color, border, padding, cursor, border radius, margin, and the font size. After that, lastly, it will hover. So it will just change the color. That's it. We'll just save it. We'll just save the. So now let us just look at the output. So right here we can see our output. We have a perfect navigation bar. We have everything. We have our services section. We have added just now. It is hovering. Next on we have top restaurants. We have also just added it now. So you can see the images are properly sized. And then we have this what's in your mind section. So we have added one scrolling effect. And you can see the transition and you can see the hover. So this is what we have created so far. So the next section that we have created here is pick up your meal section. So for this section, again we have started one section tag naming meal section. Then we have given one heading, and then again we have started one meal container inside that section tag. So we have created 4 meal containers. First is breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. So what we are going to do is we are going to write the code for one section. We will be including the class meal box, class meal info, and then we'll be giving the image, alt attribute, and the class meal image just to style the image. After that, we'll provide one hyperlink. So when we'll make this meal section page, we'll be linking that meal section page to this meal container, right? So after that, we'll be given one paragraph, and then we'll close our meal info, and outside the meal info, we'll also be given one paragraph. Then we'll close the meal box. So basically, this is one meal box. Inside this meal box, we have provided the meal info, the image, the hyperlink, the paragraph, and then again one paragraph outside the box. And after that, we are just going to copy this code. We are just going to paste it for lunch section. So again, all we need to change is the paragraph and the image. That's it. We'll also be changing both the paragraph and the image. Again, same for the dinner section. Everything will be same. We'll be just changing the paragraph and the image. And same for the snack section. So that's it. The meal section is ready. Let's just look at the styling. So this is the meal section of our website. So first we have targeted the meal section. We have provided the padding and the background color. Then we have given the meal section heading, so which is H2. So for that we have given text alignment as center and font size as 2 rem. We have also provided the margin bottom. Again, after that we have given the meal container, display flex, display wrap. We have given wrap. We have justified the content as space in between. Again, then comes the meal box. Width will be 22%. You can adjust according to your need. And the background color I have given as white. The border radius is 10. Overflow is hidden. And then we have box shadow. We have box margin, box alignment, position, and transition. Again, we'll make these meal boxes hover. So we have given the box shadow, transform, and this will slightly lift the box. Then next is meal info. The position of that will be relative. Then comes the meal image. So the width will be 100%, height will be 220px, object fit will be cover so that it fits into the box. And again, we have provided the transition. After that comes the meal box hover and meal image. So meal box should be hover. Along with that, meal images should also be hover. So for that, we have also provided the transform. Then comes the meal info with the heading 4. So these are the styling that we have provided. You can just see position, bottom, width, color, font size, background, padding, text alignment, margin, and transition. So these are only, most basic styling techniques that you provide every time. So then we have the hover effect of meal box hover H4. Then here we have background, and after that we have meal info. The position is relative. The bottom, width, color, these are all the styling techniques that we have provided in the meal info paragraph. After that comes the hovering of the paragraph. So we'll just change the background color and the bottom. So then comes the display of the paragraph, and then we have added one responsive design. So we know the meaning of this responsive design now. If the screen size will be smaller than 768px, then the mailbox width will be adjusted to 45%. And if the screen size will be smaller or equal to 480px, then the mailbox width will be adjusted to 100%. Now let us just save this code and we'll be looking at the output. So you can see here we have given the pick up your meal section. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, we have snacks. So this is the section that we have given. So now let's design the next section. So the next section will be best offer section. So like every section, we'll start this section with a section tag which says best offer section. We will provide one heading of best offers and then we'll create a class of menu items. We are also going to give this division an ID that says menu items. So now we are going to write this section using JavaScript because we have to add the add to cart functionality into this section. So first of all, the data will be fetched from the menu items and then we'll write the data here. So here data has been written in the array form. So it contains the name, description, price, image and offer. So I have provided a name and then description, then price and then image link. We have directly used this image from Unsplash and then we are going to give the offer. So like this we have created one section and we are going to copy paste it like we want. Here is the second French toast section, then the third omelette section and then the fourth biryani section. So I've added these 4 items into my best offer section. Now we will work on the cart section. So right here we have created one JavaScript function. So what this function does? So basically this add to cart function retrieves the current cart from the local storage and converts it from a JSON string back to an array. So if there is no data into the cart, it initializes the cart as empty and then the item passed to the function is added to the array. So this is what basically this JavaScript function does. We have created one show menu function. We can see here we have created one show menu function. So let us know what is this function doing. So this show menu functions clears the menu container and loops through the menu data array to create HTML element for each food item. It creates a div for each item including the item's name, image, description, the price, offers and then appends a button to add to cart item to the cart. So this basically dynamically displays the entire menu on the page, right? Then again we have added one event listener to the add to cart. So whenever somebody is clicking add to cart, that add to cart button gets triggered and the item gets added to the cart. So basically this code will select the add to cart button from each menu item and adds the click event listener to it. So basically this code selects the add to cart button from each menu item and then adds a click event listener to it. So whenever the button is clicked, the add to cart function is called and then item is added to the shopping cart. So this is what this function does. So that's it. We have added one show menu here. So whenever the page loads, the menu is visible. Now we'll just style this section. Here is the best offer styling section. So first thing that we have targeted is best offer section and we have added text alignment and margin. After that we have targeted the menu items. For that we have added display flex, flex wrap, gap and padding. Then we have targeted the food items. In that we have added border, border radius, overflow, width, background color, box shadow and transition. So after this we have targeted the food item. We will make that hover to the scale of 1.05. Then comes the image in the food item. The width we have given the height, object fit and the border bottom. Then comes the heading that we have provided in the food item. So for styling that heading we have provided margin, font, size and the color. Then again comes the paragraph that we have given in the food item. For that we have given the font size of 0.9 em and color, padding and the margin bottom. Then comes the price that we have provided. So that will be having the font size of 1.2 em and font weight will be bold, color and the margin bottom. After that we have styled the offer here. So for that it is background, color, padding, font size, font weight, margin bottom, border radius, box shadow, text alignment, text shadow, position and animation. and at last we have provided the keyframe. So this is basically for the transition and animation. And after that we will style the add to cart button. So add to cart button will have background color, and border radius, padding, font size, cursor will be pointer here, transition, margin bottom, and that add to cart button will also hover. And then again we have provided the responsive design. If the screen size will be equal to or smaller than 1024 px, then food item width will be get adjusted to 45%. Same as when the screen size will be less than or equal to 768 px, then the menu items and food items, flex direction, alignment of items and width will be get adjusted. So now we are done with the CSS part. Now let's have a look at the output. So here is the output. We have created the best offer section, and if we are clicking on add to cart, this is functional. Here we can see the item has been added to the cart. So that's it, and it has this transition and hover effect and everything. So we have created this much so far. Now let us add one more section and then we will be adding the footer. Next we have created the section of the top trending places. So here we have added the section again. We have named it as collection section and the heading will be top trending places. Then again we have added one paragraph, and after that we have opened one div class collection grid, and inside that we have created one collection box. So inside that we have provided one image and we have given the alt attribute as newly opened places. So again we have opened one div and then we have provided one heading. Inside that heading we have provided one anchor tag, which is the official website of McDonald's India. And then we have provided the inline styling to it and we have given the name as McD India. So same as the previous one, we have again created one collection box. Inside this we have provided the image and then we have given the official website link of KFC. And again we have given the name as KFC and given the inline styling. So same as the previous one, we did the same for Burger King and then at last for the Pizza Hut. So that's it. This will be included in the trending places. Now let's see the CSS of this section. So for the CSS of this section, first we have provided the padding and the alignment to the collections section. And then for the H1 inside it, we have given the font size and the margin. Then for the paragraph inside it, we have given the font size and the color. And then we have this section called collections grid. And inside this, we have given the styling as display grid, display template column, gap and margin top. So after this, we have done the collection box. We have given the position as relative, border radius and overflow is hidden, and the box shadow we have provided along with the box shadow color. Then comes the image of the collection box. We have given the width as 100%, height as 300 px, object fit as cover, and the border radius as 15 px. Then comes the collection box info. We have given the position as the absolute, bottom, left, right, 0, padding as 10, and the background color and the color. Then we will make those boxes hover. So we have given the transform scale and then we have given the box shadow. After that we have written one heading. So for that we have given margin and the font size, and then we have included one paragraph. For that we have given the margin and the font size. Again there is a responsive design that we have created. So now let's save this code and we'll save the HTML code and we'll look at the output. So here are the top trending places. Now one exciting feature that we have added is the anchor tag. So we'll just click on the McD and we are getting redirected to the McDonald's website. Likewise, we'll click on the KFC and we'll be redirected to the KFC website, and that goes same for Burger King and the Pizza Hut. So that's it for the home section. Now we are going to create the footer section. So we have so far created the whole home page of our website, and now we'll be creating the footer and then we'll be moving on to the next page. We have created the footer section. Let us go through the footer section quickly. So we have provided the class as section 1 and then we have provided the division class as call. So inside it we have added one heading as contact and then we have provided the contact details using paragraph tag. So here we are closing the div call, and then again we are adding a div class named call. So inside this we have given the heading as about, and we have added some anchor tags. We'll just connect it when we'll be making the about us page, delivery of information or privacy policy or terms and condition, and contact us page. So we won't be making any page named as terms and condition, privacy policy and delivery information, but we'll be linking the about us and the contact us page. So again we have created one div call, and we have added one heading, my account, and we have provided some anchor tags here, the sign in, the view card, my wish list and all. So in order to just make our footer look more interactive and visible, we have added so many things. And then again we have provided one more class as div install. So we'll just say to install our app, we have given the heading as install app, and again we have given the paragraph, and inside it we have created one more div, and we have given the images of Google Play Store and the Apple Store. So after this we have given the paragraph as secure payment gateways, and inside it we have given the image source as any payment gateway. So after this we have just added the copyright class, and these are the paragraphs that we have added, and that's it about the footer section. Now let us move to the style of the footer section. So here we will just first of all reset all the global margins that we have provided on the top of our CSS file. So for the footer sections there will be other global margins, such as margin will be 0, padding will be 0, and the background color will be kind of grayish. After that we'll move on to the footer, and we'll just keep the display as flex, flex wrap as wrap, margin bottom, margin left, margin right, justify content and padding. So we know now, we are familiar with all these terms, and we keep adding all these terms over and over again. So I think you have a good practice of this now. So after that we have footer call, then margin top, we have added display as flex, flex direction column, and alignment item as flex start. After this we have added footer heading, so font size and the padding bottom. Then footer paragraph, again font size and the margin. Then the anchor of the footer tags, it will have font size, text decoration, because we have to remove the hyperlink line. And then the color, and then the margin bottom. Then the image styling, the images that we have added of Apple Store and the Google Play Store, and they will have a border radius. And then one more image we have, we'll just give it as margin. Then we'll make all these footer and all hover, so we'll just add the color. And then again we have footer copyright, we'll just give styling as width 100%, text alignment, margin, padding, margin top and margin top. So after that we have done the H primary, that means the heading that we have provided. We'll just give as font as Breeze Serif, and font size as 3.8 rem, and padding as 12 px. Then the other heading that we have provided, font family, font size and padding. And at last the buttons that we have provided, that will have the padding of 6 px, border, border color, color margin and everything. The cursor will be pointer, then button link, and then the text alignment will be center. So that's it for our home page. We'll just save the file and we'll have a look at the home page. Now we have completely built our home page. So first we have navigation bar, we have this search, we have this drop down, and everything here is functional. You can see the navigation bar, everything here is functional. So after that we have this our services section, then on we have this top restaurant section. After that we have this what's in your mind section, and then after what's in your mind we have this pick your meal section. I've just changed the color here. So we have this pick your meal section. These contain hyperlink, so we have not currently added. When we'll create the breakfast page, we'll add it here, and then lunch and dinner and this snack section. Then on we have best offer section. Here these are functional, you can add them to cart. When we'll create cart, these things will be added to the cart. After that we have top trending places, we have this, and then on we have this footer. This footer is looking nice and it is looking functional and everything. We have this hover effect on these links. So we have successfully created the home page of our website. So now that we have created this home section, the next step is to create the meal section. We are going to create this meal page. We have already created this home page, and now we are going to create this meal page. So we'll be creating this, and then in next part of the video we'll be creating contact us page, cart page, login page, and we'll be also creating about us page, either in this part or in next part. So now let us move on to the creation of our meal page. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more file here that will say add.html, and along with that I'll create one more file that will say add.css, and same for the JavaScript, add.js. That's it. So inside the HTML page, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to copy the navigation bar and the header from the index.html, right? So we'll be just copying the navigation bar, footer, and the header section from the index.html. So here we can see till here is our header section. We'll just copy it to add.html. So with this, the navigation bar on the meals.html and the index.html will be same. So after this, what we are going to do is we are going to create one more section. Now here we have created one more section. So we have given the ID as home and class as home container. Because we'll be using DOM manipulation on our meal section, so we have provided ID as well as class. So with this ID, we are going to target it in JavaScript. Again, we have added one more division naming background image. So here we'll be adding some image. So the image 1 and image 2 and image 3. So these two images are been taken from our image section, and this is the link of any online image. We have provided the alt attribute here in case that image does not load, and then we have provided the class to this image. So we want these three images to look similar, so that's why we have provided the same class. So we will edit one image and then all three of the images will be similarly styled. So after this, let me just link this image again. I'll go to images, and then the image that we added was this, I guess. Yes, and then we'll just again add this image too. So in images, we'll just go to, it was something like 5 dB. Yes, this image. That's it. We have added, and we have to remove this from the alt attribute. That's it. So the next heading we are providing is our food menu, and then we'll add one paragraph. So I have added this paragraph. You can take a look. I've added break tag and break tag. So anything you can add. After that, we have added one more division naming class background button. And then after adding one more division, we have added one anchor tag, and inside this anchor tag, we have linked the menu items which we created in index.html. So here is the menu items that we have created in index.html, and this we have linked to add.html. So now after this, we are just closing the home background button and the background image and the section. So one more section here will open, and that we will name as menu container. Inside this section, we'll also open one more division, and we'll just name it as menu categories 2. So then we'll create one button. So we are going to create 4 buttons for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. So we want all these buttons to look similar. So we have added the same class to all those buttons, you can see. So after that, we are going to add this on click, because the button type will be on click, and we are just adding the show menu. So this show menu is from JavaScript. Now we have added the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the snack menu. So here we have also added the class to the icons, because we have to style them. So I have added the SVG icon as a class name. So again, we have added these images in our breakfast, lunch, dinner in every section. So again, we are going to style these images similarly. So it will be easy for us to style all these images similarly. So I have added the same class here. And then we have added this names as breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks. That's it. After that, we have closed the button, we have closed the division and we have closed the section. So how these items will be displayed? So I have written here one statement that food items will be displayed here dynamically. That means we are going to use the concept of DOM manipulation to display the food items here. So this is it about the add.html, and after that we are just going to add the footer. So first we'll close the body and HTML, and inside this we are going to add the footer. So again, footer we are going to take from index.html. So I'll just copy the footer section. That's it. And Control C, and add.html will just add the footer section. That's it. We have saved the file. Now we'll quickly style it and then we'll move on to the JavaScript. First, we'll just copy the styling of navigation bar from our style.css. First, we are going to add this navigation bar styling as it is to the add.css because we want the same styling on the both pages. So we'll just go to add.css and we'll just paste it. After that comes the home section. So we have already added the images in the home section in our HTML. We are just going to style it. Before providing the styling to the home page, what we are going to do? We are going to add the JavaScript for that page because everything will be included in the JavaScript. So we will be understanding the JavaScript code first and then we'll be moving on to the CSS. So this right here will basically select the data from the menu items with the help of DOM manipulation. So further we can manipulate the items that are present in menu items with the help of DOM manipulation. So right here the menu data is basically going to store everything from the menu items. So this menu data will basically have 4 items into it. Breakfast, then after breakfast it will have lunch, and after lunch it will have dinner and then snacks. So this menu data will contain 4 items: breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack. And inside every item, like inside breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack, there are items present which have 4 properties such as name, description, price and image. So this image is directly been taken from Unsplash, and the price we have written manually, and we have given one description. So the first one we have provided is for pancakes, and likewise we have provided for French toast, omelette, Greek yogurt, avocado toast, smoothie. We are just changing the images, prices and the description. You can add as many as items you want to add. So I have added these many items into my breakfast section. After that, same goes for lunch. We'll create one array, and inside that array we'll just store every item with their description. So again, in lunch section we have this grilled chicken salad, spaghetti and all. So all these things we are just going to change the description, price and image, and we have added all these things into our lunch section. Now same goes for the dinner section. So inside the dinner section we have added this sweet and sour pork, and like this we have added so many items into our dinner section. And then same goes for the snack section. So inside snacks also we have added some items, and that's it. So we have added these many items into our breakfast, lunch, dinner and snack. So now let's see at this code, which is basically for the add to cart section. Now this line of code basically retrieves the cart from local storage and converts it from JSON string to an array. So if there is no data into the cart, it initializes the empty array. Right. Now this line of code basically defines a function add to cart that takes item as an argument. Next on we have this. So this again retrieves the cart from the local storage and parses it into an array, same as the initialization. Now this line of code will basically push the item into the cart. Now again we have local storage, and now this line of code basically converts the updated cart array back into the JSON string and stores it in a local storage. And then we have the alert function. So alert function will basically display this message. So now basically we are working on the function of show menu. So this basically will help you to clear the current contents of the menu item container, and it will reset the menu display. And again, this will retrieve the menu items from the specified category from the menu data array. And after that, this line of code basically iterates through each item in the selected menu. And then we have this, and it basically creates a div element for each food item and adds the class food item for any of the styling purpose. And then on we have this. So this basically inserts the HTML content inside the item element, including the item's image, name, description, price, and add to cart button. That's it. Now we'll move on to the next section. Now this line of code will basically select the add to cart button within the item element using the add to cart btn. And then on we have the next line of code. So this basically adds a click event listener to the add to cart button. When clicked, it triggers the function. And then on we have this. So it defines the cart item object containing the item name, price, description, and the image. And then we have add to cart item. So this basically calls the add to cart function, passing the cart item object to add the item to the cart. And then we have menus container append child. So yeah, this appends the created item element to the menu item container to display it on the page. So now let's move further. So this show menu breakfast will basically call the show menu function, passing the argument breakfast to display the menu items categorized as breakfast. Now we have toggle sidebar. So this basically defines the toggle sidebar function, which selects the sidebar element by the ID sidebar, and then it toggles the sidebar visibility by checking if its display style is set to block. If so, it hides the sidebar to none, and if it is hidden, it shows the sidebar to block. And then on we have the sidebar. So the sidebar that we have created, so this function basically defines the sidebar. It selects the sidebar element by the ID sidebar, and then it hides the sidebar by setting the display style to the none. And now we'll move on to the CSS part, and then there we'll style all the buttons and images and everything we have added to this page. So now here we have added the styling of our add.html and add.js. So first of all, we have home. Again, we have included here margin, max width, height, overflow, position, top, z-index, display, alignment of the items, and justify content. So these are basically all the styling techniques that we have provided to our home section. Then we have added one background image. So the position we have made it as sticky. The top is 0%, the width is 100%. The display is flex, alignment of item is center, and the flex direction is common. Then again we have one more image. We have added the position as absolute. The top is -40%, left is 50%. Transition again to add the animation is 50%, and height and z-index. So again the image 2, again the same styling we have provided, just we have added different width and z-index. And again we have the image 3, same styling we have provided. Again the heading of the image 1. So we have the position as relative, z-index as 5, top 45%, font size will be 60 px, color will be some grayish, and then we have added the font family. So again we have the paragraph of the background image. So the paragraph of the background image has the position relative, z-index, top 47%, text alignment as centered, width as 70%, font size, color, and font family. Now again we have home background button, position, z-index, and top. Then we have home background button when anchor tag will be included in that. So these are all the style that we have provided. So that is padding, background color, border, border radius, color, text transform, text decoration, cursor, and again we have font weight, font size, font family, letter spacing, and transition. After that we have the hover effect on the button. So for that we have added background color and the color. Then we have the menu section. So for that we have added the margin and the padding. So after that we have the containers in which all the items of breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything will be displayed. So that container are flex and position is relative. So after that we have created the toggle sidebar button in the JavaScript. For that we have the position absolute, top is 20%, left 20 px, background color, color padding, border, font size and everything we have for the toggle sidebar. So toggle sidebar will also have the hover effect. So these are the techniques that we have provided in the hover effect. After that we have the sidebar. So in sidebar also we have provided the same techniques as toggle sidebar and we have changed some values. Now again we have the sidebar show. So for that display is block and that we have right now added in the JavaScript. And the animation we have added here. Again here we have added the keyframes for the animation and the transition. Then on we have menu categories and in this we have added the display as flex, flex direction as column, gap as 20px and margin as 60px. We have category button. So all the styling techniques that we have provided in sidebar is basically provided in the category button like background color, color padding, border and everything. So then we have the category button hover. So for hovering we will just add the background color, transform and the box shadow. And then after that we have the menu items. So for menu items the position will be relative, display will be flex, flex wrap will be wrap, justify content is center and background color is white, animation is fade in up in 1 second. So the Z index is 1. And again for the food items we have background color, color and every styling technique, right? Then we will make the food item hover. For that we have added the box shadow. Then we have added the image to the box item and here is the styling. And then we will make that image hover. So for that we have added the transform. So then after that we have the heading to the image item and then we have the food item paragraph and then we have the food item price and then we have the add to cart button. So we have styled this add to cart button like we have added all these things. The cursor is pointer here and transition and text alignment, everything has been added. So now we also want the add to cart button to hover. So we have added these styling techniques to make it hover. Again we have added some keyframes to make the transition and the animation ease out. Now that's it. And again here is the footer styling which is same as the style.css. So now we have done all these things. We have created our meal section. The only thing left is to link our meal section with the add.html and we will also link our JavaScript section with the add.html. So now we are just going to add our add.html to the meal section. So we'll just go to the meal section and here we are going to add the source. So here I'll provide the link that is add.html, again add.html, then here we'll provide add.html, then on we'll provide it in here. So that's it. Again we are going to provide it in the navigation bar. So in navigation bar we have already given the add.html here. So I'll just save it. We are just going to save the add.html and we will look at the output. One more thing we need to do, we need to add the JavaScript file to the HTML file. So for that we are just going to go to the add.html and right here we are going to add the JavaScript file. So above the footer we are going to provide the JavaScript tag. So we'll just write script and this, inside this we are going to add the link. So we have added the JavaScript link here. So one more thing is left. We have to add some script code for the scrolling of the item. So we missed that. So now we'll be adding that. Now here after the body section I have added the script tag and there are some features that we need to add through JavaScript. So this line of code basically registers the GSAP, basically the Green Sock application platform plugin, allowing the animation to trigger based on the scroll position. So this line of code basically adds the GSAP animations and transitions into the items. So now after that we have this. So this defines the animate on scroll function which contains the animation triggered by the scrolling. After that, we have const images document. So this basically selects the .home bg image1 and .home bg image2 elements from the document for the animation. After that, we have this styling, which is done through the JavaScript. So this basically loops through the selected images and applies the animation which are present here. For example, y-50 that moves the images down and above. Then it is opacity 0, which basically starts the image visibility. And then we have rotation -20, which rotates the image slightly. And then we have scroll trigger, which will basically start the animation when the image reaches the 80% of the top viewport. After that, we have this. So this basically selects the .home bg image3 element and applies the scaling effect like scale 1.01 with a duration of 0.5 seconds. The animation triggers when the image is 80% from the top of the viewport. So this basically are the styling feature of Glasstalk animation platform, and we have applied it through JavaScript. This basically is a library of JavaScript that is used to apply the animation and the transitions. So after that, we have this, and this selects all the h1p div elements inside the .background image container for the animation. After that, we have this styling technique, and this basically loops through selected elements and animates them. And again, we have provided all the same styling techniques, the Y, opacity, duration, scroll trigger and everything. And then on we have this window.onload animate on scroll. This basically calls the animate on scroll function after the DOM is fully loaded, ensuring all the elements are ready for the animation. That's it. So here we have closed the script tag. So now we have added everything. We'll just save this and we'll run the output. So we will just port the index.html and we'll just go live. And here is our home page, and we have created the meal page. So here we can see our meal page. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, and we have snacks. We have the footer. We have created the home page and the meal page. So that's it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment down any of your doubt and queries, and we will reply to them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!